Alright, well, we finished Chie's story, which is great. We actually we have a little under 20 minutes, so we can at least get a little way into Yukiko's story. But we've gotten through Yosuke, and Chie. Doing Chie's didn't unlock whatever these middle two are. I wonder if we have to go all around the edges to unlock the middle two. And we got to run into Akihiko at least a little bit. That's pretty cash money, pretty cool. Let's just start Yukiko's, and we'll get through as much of it as we can in the, like, less than 20 minutes we have.
Oh, here.
By the way, I'm very glad that Yosuke and Chie's episodes went quicker than Narukami's. So they're not all quite as long. Because Narukami's, we did also have, like, where we had to do the training mission at the start of Narukami's. Or in the middle of Narukami's, when we were doing the stream, which took, like, an extra 20-30 minutes. But other than that, Narukami's took, like, a little over 3 hours, I think, to get through the first time. There was, like, a lot more dialogue and stuff, so... Or not dialogue, but text that I had to read, rather. So, I'm glad that Yosuke's and Chie's weren't as bloated. I hope that the others are, more like theirs.
Yuki-chan, are you okay? Do you need any help?
Huh? No, it's okay. I want to do this by myself.
Are you sure? If you need a hand, don't hesitate to ask.
I know how to unlock the middle ones, but I won't say a thing. You'll get timed out if you do, so I recommend not. I smile back at our waitress Kasai-san and concentrate once again on slicing the carrot on the cutting board in front of me. It's pretty tough to cut. It's a carrot. It can't be that hard to cut. I am Yukiko Amagi. I am the only daughter of the Amagi Inn. Some people here call the inn a famous local landmark, but to be honest, that description doesn't really register with me. I think people only see it that way because there's nothing else that stands out in this countryside town. I'm getting training from Amagi Inn staff, but the food I'm cooking right now isn't for the customers. Actually, my cooking is, well, not so great. That's being generous. There's no way anything I made would be served here.
Good evening. This is the Evening Journal with news for May 2nd. Our top story is on the domestic airline that was hijacked yesterday.
They bring up this domestic airline being hijacked a lot. I wonder if that's actually going to have some kind of story relevance, that an airline is being hijacked, or if they're just doing it to, like, really drive home, like, oh, hey, look, everyone's seeing, like here's the timeline of what everyone is doing when they hear about the domestic airline being stolen. Momentarily turning your attention away from the TV in one of the guest rooms, Kasai-san speaks to me.
Oh my, look at the time. Yuki-chan, don't push yourself too hard, okay?
Thank you.
The latter half of Golden Week starts tomorrow. I usually have to work through it since the end is so busy during the holidays, but I've been given permission to take tomorrow off. And that's because Yukun is coming back to spend time here in Inaba. Narukami. He's a precious friend who transferred from whatever to Inaba. He had to go back to the city and his parents returned from overseas, get to see him after 2 months. Just thinking about that puts a smile on my face. People may think I'm overreacting just because over just 2 months, but it still makes me happy. I mean, the year spent with Yukun was quite a special one for us. It sounds hard to believe, but last year we got wrapped in a serious mystery that occurred in this town and solved it ourselves. Thank goodness stream ends in like 15 minutes. I can barely talk anymore. The one who led the team we created then, the investigation team, was Yukun. Most of us who were in the investigation team are going to meet up for his return tomorrow. I'm already excited about it. Just as I begin to lose myself in these thoughts, an acrid burning smell stings my nose. Here we go.
Oh, right. I was grilling the fish.
I hurriedly flipped the sea bream I left on the grill. It's still good, right? Yeah, it still looks good. Oh no. I think it'll be fine, maybe. When I look inside the pot, a lot of water is gone, but the ingredients I put in there to boil look soft, so it should be okay. It's probably time to turn the stove off, though. I put on the finishing touches and finally take a breather.
I hope everyone likes this.
It's been a while since everyone in the investigation team got together, so I want to make it seem a little more like a celebration. That's why I began making this box lunch for all of us, but it was a lot more food to prepare than I expected. Instead of it being a celebration, I want us all to get to attend a funeral by killing someone with this food. I have any respect for our cooks. The number of guests we get here every day is way more than the amount of people I'm cooking for. They have to make a lot more food than I just did. I grabbed the largest tiered lacquerware box we have, lacquerware? We have, and struggled to cram all the food into it.
They say the presentation of the food is important, but I think taste should be a cook's priority.
Why did you say presentation like that?
The boys will eat a lot. I'm sure Chie will too. I definitely shouldn't skimp.
I'm pretty sure Chie will eat the most.
There. All done.
Huh? An email. Who could it be from? I opened my cell and noticed a familiar name being displayed.
Oh, it's Chie. I wonder if she forgot where we're meeting up tomorrow.
Chie Satonaka, she's been my best friend ever since I was little, member of the investigation team, went through a lot together over the last year's events, we're closer, yada yada. Sure enough, the email I received was asking for confirmation of our meeting place. That Chie, she must have gotten so excited when she heard the news that she glazed over the details. Haha, that's so like her. But there was more to the email.
What? The Midnight Channel is on the air again.
The Midnight Channel, at midnight on a rainy night, if you look at the TV, you see your soulmate. That was the urban legend. I obviously thought it was a rumor. I was wrong. It was something on the rumor, yada yada. We know what the Midnight Channel is. I played Persona 4 Golden on the channel. Series of murders, people died, etc., etc. We'd saved the world. Captured so many unbelievable things I couldn't explain all of it. Did their best and we managed to take care of everything. Midnight Channel was shut down. Yep. So it's pretty strange that it's on again all of a sudden. It seems Chie hasn't seen it in person yet, judging by her email. She just said, let's watch the Midnight Channel tonight. I glance out the small window in the kitchen. Today's forecast is rain. The perfect weather for checking the Midnight Channel.
But that's not possible.
Words of denial tumble from my mouth. It's not that I don't believe Chie. It's just that I'm really, really hoping it's not true. If the Midnight Channel is broadcasting again, are we going to see another series of murders? These worries begin gnawing away at my stomach. Standing up against my own rebellious shadow and getting to know everyone better through our adventures in the investigation team are important memories of mine. But this would be something different. Even as I send off a reply to Chie, my emotions are still running wild. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, there you are. Someone's on the phone for you, Yuki-chan.
Oh, this is, Yukiko mentioned in, like, Chie and maybe Yosuke's story that, Rize's manager called the Amagi in to try and find Rize, so I guess that's this. I'm so on edge that when Kazai-san speaks up, I jump a little. I feel like a fool. I'm all worked up over the mere possibility that something's gonna happen again. I calm myself down and smile at Kazai-san. Though this is kind of odd.
For me? Who could it be at this hour?
He said he was Kujikawa-san's manager and he wanted to ask you something.
Rize Kujikawa. She's an underclassman from our high school. Not only is she part of the investigation team, she's a famous idol. Rize-chan took a break from show business while the investigation was underway, but she's been preparing to get back into it since spring. She's been super busy lately. I have no idea why her manager would be calling me, though. Kazai-san jokes that they're trying to recruit me and hands me the receiver. She then ducks back through the split curtain. This isn't helping that uneasy feeling I was having earlier. I take a deep breath and put the phone to my ear.
Hello, this is Yukiko Amagi.
Oh, I'm sorry to call so late. My name is Inoue. I'm Rise Kujikawa's manager.
Yes, that's what I was told. How can I help you?
Well, you see, I can't reach Kujikawa. I was hoping you might know where she is.
Huh?
They don't know where Rize-chan is. Apparently, she won't answer her cell and isn't at her grandmother's place or her parents' home in the city. Her exhausted manager told me he was at such a loss that, out of desperation, he looked up RN's number and called me since he knew that we were friends. I feel really bad for the poor guy, but...
I'm sorry, I don't know.
The manager on the other side of the phone replies with a downcast I see. After he apologizes for calling me out of the blue like this, he ends the phone call, but not before asking me to keep Rize's disappearance under wraps. Even setting aside work, he must be worried sick about her. At least that's what he sounded like to me. The world of showbiz is pretty tough. This isn't the first time this has happened. Rize-chan went missing when she took her break last year, so Inoue-san must be afraid of going through that again. But that's the only reason I was able to get to know her.
Don't tell me.
The revival of the Midnight Channel, Rize-chan's sudden disappearance. My mind is a swirling miasma of depressing ideas and worst-case scenarios. Making me want to play Tales of the Abyss again. Could Rize-chan have gotten dropped into a TV again? I know that my tendency to immediately gravitate to the worst possibilities is a bad habit of mine, but I just can't stop myself. I open my cell and bring up my list of most called contacts. But my finger stops when I see the name Yu Narukami on the display.
No, I can't go running to him with everything. There's no proof that it's happening again anyway. I shouldn't make him worry.
There isn't any reason to be concerned about anything yet. Yukon is coming back for the first time in a while. After being away for so long, I want to welcome him with joy, not with unnecessary burdens. There's a reasonable explanation for everything so far. I need to keep my wild thoughts to myself until I have some real confirmation.
Risa-chan's number is...
I look for Risa-chan's number on my cell and then press the call button. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings. No response. With each unheeded ring, my anxiety grows. Why isn't she picking up? Maybe she's in an area with bad reception. Or maybe she's in danger and can't answer the phone. No, I have to stop thinking like that.
Maybe I should call Yosuke-kun.
I press the button in the call as if my worries would end along with it. I begin looking up another number. Yosuke Hanamura, he's another classmate and member of the investigation team, and also apparently Yu-kun's partner. Apparently. At first I thought Yosuke-kun was just calling himself that, but it seems the feeling is mutual now. Considering that he gets along with everyone pretty well and he's got more friends than I do, he might know something about Rise-chan. Without any other leads, he's probably my best option. I dial Yosuke-kun's number. This time, the call connects immediately. He must have answered his phone without even thinking about it. I feel a little relieved and speak up.
Yosuke-kun? Good evening. This is Yukiko. I got an email from Chie a moment ago.
Yeah, she told me too. About the Midnight Channel coming back, right? Sheesh. Bet Chie was half asleep when she emailed you.
Hearing Yosuke-kun's cheerful voice makes a bit of my worries away. Or it takes a bit more of my worries away. To avoid causing panic, I try to choose my words carefully as I relay what I heard from Rise-chan's manager.
Actually, I just received a phone call about Rise-chan disappearing. Well, not literally disappearing, but... Anyway, it seems her people can't get in touch with her.
Really? She didn't mention any problems she was having to you, right?
No, I think she would have told us if anything was troubling her. She was busy, but happy to be working.
Right. And now rumors of the Midnight Channel coming back.
Coincidences!
Yeah.
I go ahead and tell Yosuke-kun everything Inoue-san told me. I promised him that I wouldn't tell anyone, but I figured that the investigation team needs to know things like this. After all, Rise-chan has been through things with us that I'm sure she would have kept secret from her manager. After we talk about Rise-chan's disappearance, a slightly awkward silence falls upon the conversation. Has Yosuke-kun come to the same conclusion as I have? Before it can linger too long, Yosuke-kun breaks the silence with a serious yet cheerful response.
Well, let's not get carried away. First, we need to see if the Midnight Channel's really back. There's no use worrying over things we don't know are happening. It's always important to be sure first, right?
It's times like these that I once again realize that my friends on the investigation team are wonderful. Yu-kun, who is calm and decisive, Yosuke-kun, who is always a source of good cheer, and it's not just the two of them. Yeah, there's also Kanji, and Rise. Naoto's there sometimes. That's about it. That covers everyone. Everyone's personalities on the team complement each other, and because of this, we were able to overcome all the inconceivable obstacles that we faced.
You're right. Thank you, Yosuke-kun.
I think Yosuke couldn't hang up. There's no use in getting flustered. First, we need to confirm the current situation and then think of a plan based on what we learn. Ha! This feels nostalgic. A smile forms on my lips as my worries subside a bit. The lessons learned from last year are helping me now. The Midnight Channel airs at midnight. Okay, yeah. Midnight Channel airs at midnight. Wild. I've got a lot of time to kill until then. Oh, I know. I have to clean up the kitchen. I don't want to leave a mess for our cooks when they arrive in the morning. After I finish cleaning up the kitchen and take a bath, I return to my room. I look at the clock, but it's still not even close to midnight.
There's still time.
I try reading a book, but nothing is sticking with me. It even feels like time is moving slower. I just want midnight to hurry up and get here.
It's all right. I'm sure things will be fine. Nothing will happen.
Oh, straight to the channel? Oh, let's go.
Rivals. They are
I never get tired of this.
friends, yet powerful foes.
This promo thing is so good.
The desperate fighting program amongst high school students. A new legend is about to start.
May the manliest of all men come on down!
Nobody touches his precious Nanako, the sister complex kingpin of steel, Narukami!
It's only natural.
Wage slave in the boonies by day, hero by night, Captain Resentiment, Yosuke Hanamura!
Everything that bores me has gotta go!
A spunky dragon with deadly legs, the carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka!
You need to eat more meat!
Please escort
I'm
me
about
to
to
the
go eat some
Ringlight
meat.
Prince, the unconquerable Snow Black, Yukiko Amagi!
I'll finish you in one strike!
Blooming roses and bulging muzzles, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, Kanji Tatsumi! Deep into realms of romance, the body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2,000 IQ killjoy detective, Naoto Shirogane!
Is this an army of idiots?
Bow,
Fight
bow,
and
bow,
survive
bow.
towards the one throne waiting at the end! The P-1 Grand Prix, where fierce fights will be fought! The battle begins tonight!
Dude, I can't wait to see, I totally forgot Kanji fights with a chair. I can't wait to see Kanji fight with a chair in this game.
What on earth was that?
Cass, what do you think of the story so far and how all the runs thus far seem to be different stories, at least once inside the TV world? As far as, like, a fighting game story goes, it is really interesting that you get, like, different, like, a general, like, same story, but different takes depending on which character you're playing as. It's really neat. It's a neat idea. The execution hasn't been perfect. I still really, like, I like it more after doing Yosuke and Chie's stories because they don't feel as bloated as Narukami's, but they are still, like, it's a lot of just reading, like, novel-esque text, which gets a little old after a while and is kind of unnecessary at times. But Yosuke and Chie's stories have definitely warmed me up to the idea a lot more than Narukami's because they just feel way, way less tedious. I sit in the Junes food court with the weight of my homemade boxed lunch and a heavy heart. Until yesterday evening, my only concerns for today were cooking enough food for everyone and worried about whether Junes would be too crowded. A lot has changed in those few hours. So instead of coming here early to reserve space for my friends, I'm here even earlier out of sheer stress. On a side note, sitting here right now makes me realize that there are a lot more people in this town than I ever imagined. And with that many people, quite a few of them probably saw the Midnight Channel broadcast last night.
Why is this happening?
I know that I'm not going to get an answer to that question, but I can't help but mutter it to myself as I sit and wait. This isn't the first time my image has appeared on the Midnight Channel. I heard about it from Chie and the others last time, but I'd never seen it myself until now. No matter how hard I try to deny it, there's no doubt that it was me. They even gave me a ridiculous title, The Unconquerable Snow Black. What's that even supposed to mean? Everyone else got nonsensical names too, but it was no laughing matter. What is that noise? Is that my dog barking downstairs? I just heard something. I was like, what the heck? I live alone. What was that? Must have been my dog. I hope. I might be getting robbed right now. That'd be unfortunate. Actually, I can't even remember what my friends were called. The only thing that registered was that all of them were pretty awkward. I was too stunned to catch anything more than that. When Chie called me afterwards, I finally came to my senses. The situation just seemed to be more serious than I had imagined earlier. Especially considering that Rizei-chan isn't the only one we haven't been able to get a hold of.
Yukiko, you're early.
Good morning, Chie. I couldn't stop thinking about things, so I wrapped up my shift at the inn early and came here.
Just as my thoughts were getting gloomy again, Chie's cheerful voice is there to snap me out of my funk. I looked up to see my best friend waving at me. Yeah, I shouldn't keep dwelling on these bad thoughts. It'll all be okay. I'm sure we'll be able to handle this. I reassure myself and show Chie what I brought.
I actually made a boxed lunch for everyone. Let's eat it together later.
Wow, a boxed lunch? You made it?
I shrug and give a wry smile at Chie's reaction.
Don't worry, I made sure to taste test it first, so it won't be like last year, I think.
Well, you've got a point. We don't want people to keep calling us poison chefs, do we?
Ooh, that does smell really good. Oh man, I can't wait to try it.
Hearing Chie's delight makes me feel a bit better. I wonder if everyone else will be as excited about my food as she is. Just as I'm thinking about how to bring it up, I hear a familiar, cheerful voice from behind. I hate to have to stop in the middle of a thing again, but with the way these stories are structured, there's really no good way to do it, to like time it well. But we'll wrap up right here before Yosuke and Yu show up, so I know a really good spot to be like, okay, when we come back, Yukiko's story, right before Yosuke shows up, and with Yu. And that's where we continue. But it is time to wrap up for today, and I am very hungry. I was hoping when we started Yukiko's story with like 18 minutes left, I would be able to get to the first bookmark, but it takes a long while to get to that first bookmark. So we're gonna have to wrap up here, and when we come back, I'll get us right back to this spot to start up. So for those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. If you want to try and catch these streams live, link to my Twitch channel in the description. I'd love to see you there. Or keep watching on YouTube. I appreciate support either way. And until next time, farewell.